Happy Friday to you and welcome to Tennessee Valley This Morning. Dan Howell along with my lovely co-host Michelle Baker, who comes in pretty regularly.
Well, I have been coming in pretty regularly.
You have been. You've been getting up early. You're getting used to this getting up early thing.
Well, the time change has helped a little bit,
yeah,
but not a lot.
It has. It certainly has helped me a lot. But we're glad that you've joined us today. We have an interesting show today. Of course, today is 11/11/11.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
We are just excited today because we have some very special guests honoring our veterans today. Talking about Veterans Day, talking about some of our veterans' experiences themselves, getting an update on the Veterans Home that is projected to come to Bradley County, something greatly needed.
Yes, agreed.
And we're just going to honor our veterans today, and I hope that you agree with that and you'll stay with us as we pay tribute to those who have given so much to this country that we might enjoy the freedoms that we have.
Right.
But other than that, there are a lot of things going on.
I know.
What's going on with you?
Well, you know, today is not only a Veterans Day, but 11/11/11 is a big wedding day.
Is that right?
Yes.
You're not getting married? Oh, you're already married.
I'm already married. I'm not doing it again.
That's not going to work.
I'm not going to do it again. But no, a girl I work with is going to a wedding at 11 a.m. And then 1 p.m.
Okay.
I was like, well,
keeping
at least
the ones
they're
in there.
spaced out enough where you can attend both. But a lot of people are getting married today.
You know, that's probably a good idea for us guys to get married on those dates, that 11/11, those alliterated days, because we have a hard time remembering the wedding anniversaries.
Well, I have to be very honest. I'm the one that forgets the anniversary.
Are you really?
I am. I am. One morning, my husband looked at me and said, "Happy anniversary," and I went, "Oh." Happy anniversary, babe. I got to go to town. I'll be right back.
Be right back. I remember one year after my wife and I had been married, bless her heart, she's gone now, but we'd been married about 25 years, and both of us forgot our wedding anniversary.
Both of you forgot?
We remembered it the day after.
That is hilarious.
But at least I was safe because she didn't get mad at me.
Well, you weren't in the doghouse, were you?
We were both safe. But we men do tend to forget some of those important dates. But I can understand why they'd want to get married on 11/11 or something like that.
Right. I think it would be the easiest day to remember.
Yeah.
Or like 1, 2, 3. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, that would be good. January 2nd of 03. That would be easy. Yeah,
that would be easy.
Yeah, day after New Year's. I've heard, coming in this morning, in fact, I heard that it was a big wedding day in Vegas. Today is, of course, they have wedding chapels. I can't imagine anybody wanting to go to Vegas to get married.
I can't either, because all I imagine is getting married by Elvis.
Yeah, it's too much of a circus atmosphere, and I take that institution too seriously for that. But I just can't imagine anybody going to Vegas to get married. But apparently, one of the wedding chapels there does an average of about 12 weddings a day.
Right.
Which seems to be a lot.
Yeah.
But today, they're booked up. They've got 150 weddings scheduled today.
Oh my gosh.
In this one wedding chapel. So can you imagine?
No,
wow.
I can't imagine. I'm like you. I think getting married in Vegas would be a gamble.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Boy, you got up early for that one.
I did.
You got up early for that one. And I walked right into it.
It was bad.
It was good. But today is a very special day. It's cool today. You know, it got down to freezing last night in some parts of the higher elevations.
Yes.
I'm talking about in Bradley County. It was 30. Actually, when I got in my car this morning, checked the thermometer on, is that what you call it? Yeah, thermometer on my car. And it said 29 degrees.
It was 27 at my house on my car.
Now that was unofficial, of course.
That was unofficial. All I know is it was cold. That's not chilly, that's cold.
But the official temperature right now is 33 degrees. And of course it's going to warm up. Not a whole lot warmer than that today. We'll get up into the mid-50s today. But tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, ooh, my goodness. Going to be nice.
It is going to be nice this weekend.
It's going to be great as we slide down toward Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I am too.
You have big Thanksgiving plans?
Oh, yeah. We always get together at my house, and My daughter and I get up at 6 a.m.
You get your daughter to help you cook?
She's in culinary school. She wants to be a chef, so
there you go.
That's been part of
You're raising
our,
her right.
Hey, well, when she went off to school, I lost my cook at home, so I don't know.
Well.
But yeah, we've done that for many years. We get up at 6 a.m. and she likes to be in charge of putting the turkey in the oven. And
so that's a traditional. You do the turkey. Okay. Well, that's there's something about turkey and Thanksgiving that just kind of go together. But a lot of people like to do other things. Like some people will do a roasted chicken. Some people do the spiral honey baked ham, which I like.
Oh, I love honey baked hams.
And then some people like. My family will do both.
Right. I usually have enough people at my house that we end up doing both.
And then we eat on that stuff for like 2 weeks.
Right. But then by the time Christmas comes around, you're tired of turkey and ham.
You want to do something else.
So we do lasagna on Christmas.
Oh, you do? There you go. Going Italian. That's neat. Well, Thanksgiving will be here before you know it. We are my son and 2 granddaughters are going to head up to Nashville to be with some really close friends who are really family.
That'll be good.
You know, you have those friends who are family.
Yes.
And that's we're going to go be with their family and their grandkids and just to make a day of it. So
that'll be great.
I'm taking the spiral cut ham, the honey baked ham.
There you go.
And they're going to provide the turkey. So we're going to pool our resources and have some good food. Lots of stuff going on. I don't know if you know this week, but the Bradley Cleveland Greenway celebrated its 10th anniversary.
I saw that.
Found out a little history. I went to that event and didn't know that actually the Greenway had its beginnings, its roots began with former or retired Judge Van Deeken.
Really?
Who started he was a juvenile judge and started initially having some of the juvenile offenders clean up Mouse Creek. And then when Mayor Davis, Gary Davis, was elected back in '98, I think it was, one of his goals was to have a greenway. And so he and Judge Deacon got together, and that was the impetus for starting the greenway. And they actually got enough funding and a grant to do like phase 1, which was a very short phase.
Right.
I think between Willow and somewhere. It's like 2 or 3 blocks long. It wasn't much.
Right.
But they got that going, and eventually they got enough steam that they actually appointed the Greenway Board in 2004, I believe it was. And from there, the board, under the direction of chairmanship of Cameron Fisher, has just done a marvelous job.
It is a beautiful,
and you know,
beautiful
it is, and one of the best in the state, and scenic, and bird sanctuary, all kinds of things. And in 2 weeks, they're going to open phase 5, which is going to make our greenway about 4 miles long.
That is incredible. I know, having been part of a few fundraisers, you know, here in Cleveland, like for example, the Alzheimer's Walk.
Yeah.
We're able to walk on the Greenway, and it just makes those fundraisers so nice.
Yeah.
So I love the Greenway.
Oh, I do too. And 10th anniversary. It's just incredible what's happened. And of course, eventually, I was talking to Faye Calloway up in Athens. She's not Athens, up in Charleston, where we live.
Right.
That little town up there. But they're really moving on too. They're starting their own greenway, and eventually the goal is to have the Cleveland Bradley Greenway connect with the Charleston Greenway at the Hiwassee River there at the dock.
Oh, that'll be great.
Wouldn't that be something? And you could ride a bike or walk or jog or run all the way from Willow Street, the Village Green.
Right.
Actually. All the way to the Hiwassee River. That would be fantastic.
That would be
of course,
great.
It's going to take a few years to get it done.
Right, but not that I could run or jog that far, but.
But who's to say it won't happen? Because
Exactly.
10 years ago, we had no idea we'd have 4 miles of it done today.
Right.
So you got to start somewhere. So I'm excited, and I get to go to those Greenway board meetings and hang out and say, yes, I believe that, and all, you know,
all that good
vote
stuff.
Yes and vote no and all those kind of things. So that's good. Salvation Army doing something neat. They're having their Jingle Bell Jog.
Jingle Bell Jog.
You don't have to put on jingle bells to jog, but it's a fundraiser for of course, their annual event and the Bell Ringers. And this is in addition to the Bell Ringers. And that's coming up on December 3rd, 10 a.m. at Fletcher Park.
All right.
And if you don't have to jog, you could walk actually, but it's a fundraiser for the Salvation Army. All the money stays right here in Bradley County from ministry.
Great.
So contact Roxanne Corbett at the Salvation Army if you're involved. Her office is there where the Inman Street Coffee Shop is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, you got to go.
I'm ready to go.
Get the French press coffee.
Okay.
It's good.
All right.
We have some special guests. If you just tuned in, we have some very special guests. Cid Heidel is here. We're going to get an update on the Veterans Home. He's with the Veterans Home Council, also a veteran of the military. And Ron Brooks is here as well, a Vietnam vet. And Joe Davis is supposed to be here from the Veterans Affairs Office in Bradley County. But right now I've got to turn to this other camera.
All right.
And let them know what's going on in headline news around Bradley County. It is Veterans Day, as we've been chatting about across the United States. Bradley County and Cleveland city government offices will be closed today in honor of the thousands of area veterans who served our country in the nation's military. A formal Veterans Day ceremony will be held at 11 a.m. today on the Courthouse Plaza in downtown Cleveland. Retired Army retired Army Chaplain. It's early. Retired Army Chaplain Colonel Robert Jenkins will be the guest speaker, so be sure and show up and support our military veterans. Forrest Preston, the chairman and founder of Life Care Centers of America, has clarified his reason for offering to give the First Tennessee Bank building on Raider Drive to the city of Cleveland. Preston bought it. In a letter to Mayor Tom Rowland, Preston said the gift was intended to provide office space for Cleveland and other city departments so they could be in a central location, but at the discretion of the city council. Councilman Banks and Mayor Rowland have said they oppose moving city offices away from downtown. Others have suggested it could serve as a central office for the Cleveland City School System. Director of Cleveland City Schools, Dr. Martin Ringstaff, and all 7 members of the City School Board will be in Nashville this weekend for the annual convention of the Tennessee School Board Association. Cleveland Middle School teachers Jim David and Sandy Farlow will be presenting a program at the convention on the 2nd year of their paperless classrooms. The group will return to Cleveland on Tuesday of next week. The new science wing at Cleveland High School has some leaking and drainage problems. The building's roof line leakage came from some overlapping panels that were shorter than they should be. The problem has been corrected. The drainage problems were caused by incorrectly placed tubing in the catch basin. It is now being fixed by the architects and the contractor. That's your headline news. Let's take a look at your weather forecast at 6:44 this morning. Mostly sunny today, a high of 67. Oh, I was wrong about that. I thought it was only going to be in the mid-50s, but it just shows
it's going to be a little cooler than that today,
just
too.
Goes to show you I can be wrong. Mostly sunny today, mostly sunny tomorrow, partly cloudy on Sunday, but still the temperatures in the low to upper 60s. So it looks like it's going to be a nice weekend. Good weekend to get out and about and enjoy the greenway we were talking about.
Absolutely. And those lows look a little better than they do
Yeah,
today.
yeah. When I got up this morning and saw that it was 29 degrees on my car thermometer, I thought, ooh, I just about waited too long to put the little I have a little heater that keeps my, I have a well.
Ah, yes.
And you got to keep it warm in the well in the winter or your pipes freeze.
Yes, they do, and that's not fun.
Oh, it happened to me last year before I realized what I should do, and I finally got it thawed. But that's my project this weekend.
There you go. Now, I would go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I got to get that
It's also time to winterize the boats.
Yeah, mine was, I just checked yesterday down with Gary at B&B.
Did you?
Mine is in dry storage and it has been winterized, so
yeah.
I'm good to go.
We'll talk about boats again in the spring.
Oh, yes, I can't wait. Someone was telling me yesterday at the office, oh, I'm ready for spring. I want to put my boat in the water. You just have to wait. It's 6:45, officially 33 degrees. It was 29 at my house this morning when I got up. You said it was 27.
27.
At your house. But it's going to be nice today. Just get out and enjoy it. Today is a holiday for a lot of folks, myself included. It's Veterans Day, and we're honoring our veterans this morning. We have with us very special guest, Cid Heidel with the Veterans Home Council here in Bradley County. We also plan to have Joe Davis with the Veterans Affairs Office at the courthouse, Bradley County Veterans Affairs Office, and then Mr. Ron Brooks, retired, also a Vietnam vet. We're going to talk to them. And we'll be back with those special guests in just a moment. Dan Howell with Michelle Baker. Hope you'll stay with us.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro-laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, call the Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
6:49. Thanks for joining us on the Tennessee Valley this morning. Dan Howell here with co-host Michelle Baker, and we're glad that you've joined us today. As we honor our veterans, today, of course, is 11-11-11. And that number is very significant. Our first special guest is Ron Brooks, who was, I want to make sure I get this right, Ron, you were Command Sergeant?
Major.
Major, right. Retired. Sergeant Major, that's about as high as they get for non-com, right? Non-commissioned.
Yes, it is.
As I understand the military, the sergeant majors are really the ones that run the military.
To make it plain and simple, the sergeant major, when you're told something to do, it's your best interest that you do it and don't hesitate.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. The command sergeant, the major is well. Yeah, they carry a lot of weight, a lot of influence, but we're just honored that you are taking the time to be with us this morning.
Well, it's an honor to be here with you.
And first, I want to say thank you for your service to our country. And I have a very special place in my heart for the military and military veterans. And my father-in-law, God rest his soul, he lived to be 99. He's now interned at the military cemetery in Chattanooga. And he was a veteran of Guadalcanal and a member of the very first Seabees unit. And he had a lot of stories to tell. But we honor him today and other veterans like yourself. And I'd like to kind of hear your story, Ron. You are a veteran of Vietnam?
Yes, I am.
Tell us about your experiences in the military.
With the experience in the military, I got to see a lot of the world, first of all. I have 9 years in Germany. I have a year in Greece, which is a good biblical experience.
Oh, yeah, that was
our
great.
Station in the Macedonia area of Greece.
Oh.
And then I have a year in Korea and a year in Vietnam and all kinds of military posts here in the United States. So I really lived out of a suitcase, put it plain and simple.
For 20, how many years?
23 years, 2 months, and 3 days.
Oh, you got it down to the day. That's amazing. What was your most memorable experience being in the military?
I guess the experience in combat with all the men that you served with and the activities you're going on, and that registers more with the other, because the others is normal living, except in a foreign country like stateside. But in combat, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. Now you were part of an artillery unit.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Talk about, of course, this was Vietnam. That was 20-some years ago, I guess, or maybe more. Talk about your experience there being in the artillery unit versus what you're seeing today in the artillery. How has it changed?
It's changed now. We have a lot more speed and mobility and maneuvering. And in Vietnam, we were still relying for quick maneuvering on the chopper, having to come in and pick us up and strap the equipment down and take us and set us down, and then we had to unload and set up our areas, you know. But today it's a lot more mobility, and you can meet the commander's needs on the battlefield much faster.
Can you? What about the actual equipment itself? It's got to be much more high-tech now than what it was then.
Oh yes, back then we were in Vietnam. I was dealing with the M102 low silhouette Hauser for rapid fire support for combat contact. And then I had an unfortunate role in Vietnam. I was the first sergeant there, and I was the first sergeant of 2 combat units at the same time, which just doesn't happen.
Oh, my.
Wow.
And how it came about was they took a composite of so many low silhouette rapid fire guns and heavy artillery and put us together, made us a jungle operation from 2 TONE units stationed in the camp area. And I was the first sergeant of that unit, plus first sergeant of my regular Army unit. And every hot spot they would find along the Cambodian border, naturally we got it.
That's where you
went out
went.
and sat down in.
See, I can't imagine some of the experiences that you've had, you know, in actual combat. I mean, you know, you see the movies and all that, and I always keep in the back of my mind that can't be doing the real experience justice.
It does some, but no, it doesn't. You don't see all the work, the preparation. See, when we moved into a position like that, we couldn't go to sleep unless we had 3 layers of sandbags over our head. And whenever you move 3 or 4 times during the day, you know, your energy's gone. We need this here thing here today. What, this 5-hour energy thing? We need a whole bunch of that.
It would have been pretty helpful.
It would. And we didn't have no cell phones over there to help us out either.
No.
And there was a lot of just manual labor required to do what you did.
Right.
In that theater.
Right.
That's amazing. Talk about the comradeship that's built up on the battlefield like that between you and the men that you served with.
You develop a close relationship with individuals that there, because you're in the same situation, in the same environment. And you kind of learn who the other one is, but not get real attached, you know. You know their name, where they're from, about their family a little bit, but you don't get real buddy-buddy because
you know you may lose them. You can't afford to, you know, you may lose them. But there's something about a shared experience like that, because you know that your life may be in this person's hand and vice versa. So
that's exactly right.
There's got to be a high level of trust as well.
And you know that you're there, that when you get in a tight situation, that you on my right and you on my left is going to be there with me, and I don't look around and I'm there by myself.
Yeah, you don't want to wander. Yeah. Oh my. Looking back, is there anything that you do different? Do you regret your military service at all, or you recommend this for young people coming up?
No, there's nothing I regret in it. It was one of the best decisions that I made.
Really? I've heard that from so many people.
I have too.
You get out, you develop mentally quick. You learn to accept responsibility quick.
Yeah.
You learn how to just adapt to a fluid situation without and having a lot of stress and anxiety to you, you know.
Yeah.
And you're willing to learn how to accept difficulty and hardships.
You grow up in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this something? Go ahead.
I was going to say I have a good friend whose daughter was the typical rebellious teenage girl, and she joined the Navy. And I saw her a year after she joined the Navy, and she was a completely different individual.
Right.
Just a beautiful, well-rounded young woman.
Very mature.
Very mature, very polite. Not that, you know, rebellious teenage girl I knew a year before.
Yeah.
So it has to be just a great experience for children, you know, young ones to go into that. So I think it's amazing.
Yeah. There is a case, and I'm not advocating this, but there's a case to be made for compulsory military service for 18, 19, 20 years old, at least for 2 years. I think if that happened, a lot of our social problems would disappear.
We wouldn't have all this sheer unrest out on the streets like we're seeing today in the teenagers.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have that.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't have that. And you see countries around the world where military service is compulsory. They don't have those kind of social problems because their young people learn discipline. And we all have to be accountable to somebody, and sooner or later we're going to be.
That's right. That's right.
And so as I say, a case could be made for that. I'm not going to argue for it, but a case could be made for it.
It could be made for it.
It could be made for it.
So how many men did you have in your group?
Oh, there in Vietnam? Okay, I had a total of 145 men.
Wow.
And then I operated with a battalion of CIDGs, which was our civilian Vietnamese that we took in and trained and paid them to go out and fight. I had 3 battalions of them, which was about 500 each.
Wow. Huge responsibility.
And we were out there, and we'd go out and find the enemy and make contact with them, and they would fight for 45 days. And then we'd change them out and go back.
And with that kind of responsibility, I'm curious, how old were you at that time?
I was 32 at that time.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility,
That's
it seems to me
young.
like, for 32. But like you say, you grow up fast, and you learn to accept and responsibility.
And with the commanders, I had some excellent commanders in Vietnam, you can say.
Yeah.
And going to and from the fire support bases, it got to a point that they'd go out ahead of me for 3 or 4 days, and everything would be quiet. I come out to join them, and about 30 minutes later, we get an attack. And so,
They didn't want you coming out, did
after
they?
the 5th time out there, the captain looked at me. He said, "First Sergeant, go back to base camp and stay there."
You were his bad luck charm. It sounds like. Well, it's always a pleasure visiting with our veterans, and of course today is no exception. I appreciate you, Ron, and what you've done. And I'm just curious, are you originally from Bradley County, from Cleveland?
No, I am from Knoxville.
Knoxville. So you're from this area. You're a Tennessee boy.
Oh yeah, I'm a Tennessee boy. That's why I'm running around here with one leg shorter than the other.
Running those ridges. But what made you decide to settle in this area in Bradley County?
I had a job. I was working in Knoxville as the vice president of a small conglomerate thing, or mixture of different type of business.
Yeah.
And I was working in the UT area. And one day I sat at my desk and I said, "Wait a minute, now I retired from the Army to get away from all this." And what did I do? Come here, and I went and got a different job.
And came to Cleveland.
Came to Cleveland.
Well, good. Well, we're better off because you're here. Appreciate you coming in today, and just really appreciate your service to our country and your time spent in Vietnam.
Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate you being here today. Ron Brooks, CSM retired veteran of the U.S. Army, and glad to have you today.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment. 7:01, we're going to visit with Cid Heidel, learn about the Veterans Home Council, and Joe Davis from the Veterans Affairs Office. Please stay with us.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro-laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, call the Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
7:04 your time, and it is 33 degrees. That's the official temperature. It's been colder than that out in the outlying areas. 29 at my house this morning. Before we visit with our next guest, let's take a look at your weather forecast and just see how good it's going to be today. Look at there, 67 for a high. Sunshine through tomorrow with 63 for a high tomorrow. Tonight, though, look at that, 29 degrees. I better get my heater turned on in my pump house.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, partly cloudy, a high of 67, overnight low of 51. Going to be a decent weekend, and I hope you get out and enjoy. We're honoring our veterans today. It's 11/11, and today is a very special day on the Courthouse Plaza. The formal Veterans Day ceremony held at 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th month. Did I get that right?
Of the 11th year.
11th, I guess, yeah, 11th year. That's amazing. But with us today, and someone who's going to be very involved in that ceremony, is Joe Davis, who is with the Bradley County Veterans Affairs Office. Joe's been here before, and it's good to have you back, Joe.
Thanks, Dan.
You're a busy man. You have a lot of people that you serve and work with throughout the county and probably throughout the entire region. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for having us on, Dan.
Oh, well,
and
you're
Michelle
welcome.
and Channel
Thanks for
5.
coming.
It's good to be here. I'm a veteran service officer. We have several of those across the state, across the nation, as a matter of fact. And our main purpose is to help veterans file claims with the VA.
Yeah.
That's basically all I do all day long.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be rewarding for you. Of course, you're being a veteran yourself of the U.S. Army.
Yes, it is, and I get to help people that are in need of financial assistance and medical help from the VA, and it's a pleasure to help quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to say, I work closely with Joe. You know, working in assisted living.
You're right.
You know, Joe is always very helpful to help our veterans get the assistance that they do need. So
Now, your office is right there on the first floor of the courthouse.
Yes, sir. It's room 105, main level at the courthouse, downtown Cleveland.
Yeah. If you go in the front side, on the plaza side, you just go in, it's the first floor, and you just go almost all the way to the back side and turn left. You're right there in that.
That's right.
In that
There's
office.
3 of us in our office, and all 3 of us are able to help just about any person that comes through the door. We serve about 7,900 veterans here in Bradley County.
Just in Bradley County.
Just in Bradley County.
That's
The surrounding areas I think a 40-mile radius, there's 50,000 veterans.
Wow, in a
So,
40-mile radius.
We get a
So
lot
we're
of
looking-
veterans out of county because
Yeah.
some of the surrounding counties are part-time.
Yes, I see.
And if you think about that for a minute, most folks who buy groceries are going to come to Cleveland to buy groceries.
They do.
So they come to the courthouse and do business with us on
Yeah.
occasion.
So your service area would include like Polk County, Meigs, maybe McMinn County?
That's right. It's not really an
possibly.
area we're supposed to serve, but when they come through the door, we don't turn them away.
Yeah,
We greet whoever comes through the door.
yeah, and you're able to help them. What kind of services do you provide for them there?
There's several things that's available for a veteran. First of all, I guess, is if they're injured while in service, they can maybe draw a disability from that injury in service. It's up to the veteran to prove that and to show what happened while in service, and then the condition is now in a medical state they need help with that, and then the VA will agree with that and grant a percentage up to 100% for that injury. PTSD is one of the big ones. I guess everybody's heard about that now.
Yeah.
Diabetes from Vietnam, and there's some PTSD from World War II. I've had
Yeah.
a few of those claims also.
Yeah.
The other side of the coin is a pension. That's where Michelle and I got to know each other.
Yeah.
Usually you're past the age of 65 and you're low income, the VA will supplement your income with a pension. And the max on that is $1,900 a month.
Oh, okay.
So it depends on if you're married, depends if you have children.
Yeah.
It depends really how much income you have left over after medical expenses are taken away.
You mentioned PTSD. It's interesting. I mentioned my father-in-law earlier on top of the show. He was 99 when he passed away. And as he was in his late 80s, he might have been 90 years old. He had some health problems, always was in good health up until he fell and broke a hip. But he got to a point he needed some assistance. Had always, like many veterans, always very self-sufficient, didn't want to ask anybody for help. Do you see that a lot?
Yeah, I see it in every one of them.
Yeah, it really is the greatest generation.
Yeah.
It really
Absolutely.
is. But he was elderly and needed some assistance, so his daughter, who was my wife, decided to contact the Veterans Office. And they actually were just wonderful and gave him some assistance. But at that age, you mentioned PTSD, they put him through some medical screenings, and here he was, 90 years old, and he was still suffering the effects of PTSD at that age from World War II.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder, when I thought about that, how many people out there today in our viewing audience in the surrounding areas still suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of them.
Yes, the VA has just recently restricted their, lessened their rules on granting PTSD.
Really?
If you think about that for a minute, nowadays they're driving a Hummer down the street in Iraq and Afghanistan, and these IUDs will go off.
Yeah.
So they're constantly watching, scanning where they're going, and when they get back to the States, they can't stop that. They're still driving down
scanning.
the street and scanning. That's PTSD is what that is.
That's-
They
Sure.
can't get over, they can't stop
Yeah.
it. It just keeps going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they can find help, though, assistance, counseling, or something, and you can guide them in the right direction if they'll come and see you at your office.
Yeah, they have nightmares and flashbacks, and there's medication nowadays that will stop you from having those dreams.
Oh,
I'm not sure how that works, but I understand it does.
really?
So that's a relief, not a cure, it's just a relief for it.
Yeah. What's the most common request for assistance that you get in the
I'd say
office?
the pensions are right now because of our baby boomers and that age moving into that 65 and over range. Sid did a count of the American Legion just the other day. We have 91 World War II veterans still on the rolls at the American Legion post here, post 81.
Really?
That kind of shocked me. I didn't think we had that many.
I wouldn't have thought that.
I think they're dying like 1,000 a day across
I
the
know.
nation.
It's incredible.
They
And
are.
the Korean veterans are now past 80, and Vietnam veterans are moving in that 65 range. So there's a need for the pension. There's quite a demand for that.
Yeah, there really is. Well, your office does a great job, and of course you work with Larry McDarris. You're both veterans.
Yes, work with Cherie Nations is our other person.
Uh-huh.
We're open 8:30 to 4:30, 5 o'clock on Fridays
Uh-huh.
at the courthouse.
And so being veterans yourself, you understand the plight of a lot of the veterans who come in and need assistance.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't cover. We're required by, I think, the state to be state certified within 1 year after taking our positions.
Are you?
And I went to the next step level. I'm nationally certified. Have
Are
been
you
for
really?
several years.
Wow.
I have to maintain my national certification by attending educational units for credit. If I do that every year, then my national certification is renewed. I've done that for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So the purpose of doing this is to stay more knowledgeable in all the stuff that's going on and changing. And believe it or not, the VA is like the federal government. They're changing almost every day.
Yeah.
Something new, some kind of new program. We just recently, last year, had 3 new presumptive diseases for Vietnam granted.
Really?
Systemic heart disease, leukemia, and Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
So that opened the door for quite a few more veterans. And I've had several cases of that since then.
Wow.
The largest claim I've seen for back pay has been $660,000
Really?
to a veteran in
my
Cookville.
word.
Yeah.
Back pay.
Yeah. It's a new law called NEMR, NEMR versus VA.
Yeah.
And if you filed a claim was denied sometime in years past, this NEMR law requires you to go back and pay back to that date. So when systemic heart disease came forward and was approved, the VA had to go back and grant it back to that date.
Oh my.
And
wow.
that's the largest settlement I've heard of in Tennessee, $660,000.
Wow.
That is incredible.
I think he was in his mid-80s, something like that.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, one thing I love about the pension for our veterans is not only are the veterans eligible, but if the widow of a veteran is eligible for the pension as well.
Yep.
And so that's very helpful to the widows of our veterans. So.
Yeah. The one thing that we want you to take away from this morning is that there is assistance available to our veterans, and if you are a veteran or if you're a family member of a veteran, if you have a friend who's a veteran and you see that they may need some assistance, please encourage them to go see Joe or one of the other staff members there at the Bradley County Veterans Affairs Office. It's right there in the courthouse, first level, easy to find. If you can't find it, somebody just ask somebody. They'll tell you how to get it. And there is assistance, guidance, everything from counseling to probably some financial assistance if they qualify. And they have to meet, is there certain qualifications that they have to meet for certain levels of assistance?
Yes, there is. The pension, for example, there's multiple steps to get through to get to the final award of the pension. And there's 1.5 million claims nationwide, pending claims.
Pending now?
Yeah, pending right now as we speak. So it takes a while to make a decision and go through all that verification they have to go through.
Yeah. Well, it's a great service you provide, and appreciate what you do for our veterans. Of course,
Thank you, Dan.
appreciate you being a veteran yourself, and as always, appreciate your service to
Thank
our
you.
country and all that you do for the veterans here in Bradley County and in surrounding areas. We have to take a break, but appreciate you coming in, Joe.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for having us.
See you around the courthouse. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to talk to Cid Heidel and get an update on today's ceremony as well as the update on the Veterans Home. We've heard a lot about that in the news recently, and we'll find out what the latest is. Don't go away. 7:14 at this time.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Call us today for all your personal insurance needs. With 28 years in the insurance business, I have the solutions and pricing you are looking for. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television. Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, call the Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
Watching Tennessee Valley this morning, 7:17 your time. Thank you for joining us today. Dan Howell here with Michelle Baker, my co-host, and we are honoring our veterans today. It's the 11th month of the 11th year, and of course the ceremony today on the courthouse square will be at the 11th hour, and we're going to learn about that from our next guest, Cid Heidel, who is with the Veterans Home Council. Let's talk first about the ceremony, and then we'll talk about the council and what it is that you do, Cid. First of all, thank you for coming, and thank you for serving your country.
Well, thank you very much.
We appreciate it a lot.
We appreciate the opportunity to be here. Yeah. An interesting thing about 11/11 you're talking about, that in World War I, that is when the armistice went into effect, was the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, and that's how all that got started.
Yeah, and it was, it didn't used to be known as Veterans Day.
No, it was Armistice Day.
Armistice Day. It was called the signing of the armistice, or I guess the ending of the war.
I think it was 1954 when President Eisenhower signed the bill that the Congress had passed establishing Veterans Day.
Yeah. And Veterans Day, there may be a little misunderstanding, but we have 2 days that honor our veterans, Memorial Day and then Veterans Day. Memorial Day really is, if you look at it technically, is designed to honor the war dead, those who gave their life. They gave all. And Veterans Day is designed to honor those who are still with us, who are living and active members of the community, and we separate days to honor them both, which I think is very fitting.
Yes, and one of the things that makes me proud about our country is we have 2 official holidays each year honoring people who have served in the military, and I doubt if you'll find that in many other places.
Probably not. Well, today is a big day. Of course, we mentioned the event at 11 o'clock. Let's talk about that ceremony. You're going to be involved in that, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I'll be participating with the Bradley County, what the guys call it the firing squad. It's the honor detail, burial detail. It's made up of members of the American Legion Post and the VFW Post. And I'm the youngest kid on the block of that group. I'm the baby of that group. But we are available to go to any veteran's funeral and fire the 21 rifle salute.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some very dedicated gentlemen in that squad. We have a World War II veteran.
Oh.
Yes, and a Korea War veteran.
Really?
And the World War II gentleman in his 80s, and the other one is in his 70s, and they are there all the time. We have 7 to 9 people who rotate through that, and they're like the old story about the post office. In all kinds of weather and situations, they are out there performing that last salute to that deceased veteran.
And what a moving experience that is.
That's what I was getting ready to say. My grandfather had that at his funeral, and it just
it brings tears to your eyes.
Well, it does. Every time I do it, I get the goose pimples in the back of my neck, and the family members are so appreciative of that. And to any of you gentlemen in the firing squad who might be watching today, I want to thank you for your dedication.
Thank you.
I go sometimes, but not all the time, but these gentlemen go all the time when they're called to do that. And when you see them, ladies and gentlemen, at the funeral you may be attending, they really appreciate your appreciation to them. It means a lot because they're there all the time. They deny very few requests. I think last year it was over 50 funerals they did.
Oh my. One a week almost.
Yeah, so they'll be there today, and we'll be firing our 3 rounds of 7 volleys.
Yeah. And that's on the Courthouse Plaza. We have a very special guest speaker coming. A retired Army Colonel Robert Jenkins will be the guest speaker, and there'll be a lot of other dignitaries, and there's usually a good, big crowd. which always warms my heart to know that this community is still very appreciative of our military
For
veterans.
a community this size, I doubt if you'll find many other communities who put as much into Memorial Day and Veterans Day as this community
Yeah, I
does.
believe you're right, Sid, I really do.
The gentleman you're referring to, the retired colonel, I saw his picture in the paper yesterday, and he wears a lot of fruit salad over here, a lot of these ribbons and stuff, and I'm curious to find out where he got all those, because I don't think he was in a chapel all the time. He's a retired chaplain. I think he was out there with the troops.
He probably was.
Some stuff was coming down.
On the battlefield.
Wow.
I had a chaplain friend who's deceased now, but he was that way. He was with the troops in battle, out on the front lines and comforting them and praying for them. And I'd say that the colonel is probably in the same category. That is coming up at 11 o'clock today on the Courthouse Plaza, so be sure and go out for that if you can. But let's talk about something else now, Sid, and that's the Veterans Home Council.
Yes.
A lot of people may not be familiar with that, so tell us what that is.
Okay, let's start with what a veterans home is.
Sure.
A state veterans home is a skilled nursing facility that the state, individual states operate, that is funded by VA as well as state and local funding. And there are 151 of those across the country.
Oh.
And some states have as many as 7 or 8, and some has as many as only 1. Tennessee right now has 3.
Okay.
One in Murfreesboro, one in Humboldt, and one up in Knoxville. It was built a few years ago. Since 2006, we've been working in this county trying to get one of those state veterans homes brought here. And it's just not a few people, a lot of people involved in this, from the county government, the city government, private donors, individuals. It's an amazing effort where people are working together to try to get one of these facilities here, and we are as close as we have ever been to having that happen.
Yes.
We have secured local funding pledges from both the county and the city, plus a $3 million anonymous donation to complete that 35% local funding, and all we're waiting on is for the Veterans Administration to allocate the money to get down to our level. For 2010, we were number 10 in the country on the next facility to be built.
Oh my.
On their priority listing. And it's time for VA to publish a new list, and we're hoping that we'll move up on that list.
Oh, that would be great. Well, I know that it's getting some attention based on the fact that I believe the VA administrator or director was in town recently.
That was the state commissioner of Veterans Affairs. She's a retired colonel in the National Guard, 1 or 2 times deployed to Afghanistan, very personable. I was very impressed with her. Minnie Bears Grinder. She's Native American.
Yeah.
And that's Minnie Bears. So I asked her assistant, what does she like to be called? And he says, Minnie Bears. So I called her commissioner. But she was here along with 2 or 3 other folks from the state who were involved in acquiring the property. When the property is transferred for the building of one of these homes, the State Department of General Services or Land and Real Estate Management will take control. So they were looking at the proposed site, and they were pleased with it. And where we are right now is to begin the site testing and the environmental evaluations of that site before the state can accept it. The land is being held by the American Legion in trust. It was deeded to the American Legion in 2009 by some private donors. So the state couldn't take it at that time, so the American Legion is holding it in trust until the state can accept it. The Veterans Home Council, of which I'm one of the co-chairs, Mark Hall from the county commissioner is also the co-chair, and Joe is the secretary. Our purpose is to make, I guess, people aware of the need for the home and to bring together all the resources and the people in this community to get the thing moving. And that's what we've been in place since 2008. And we do some small fundraising, but our main purpose is to publicize this facility and try to bring together all the resources and all the people and all the players to keep this thing moving. And I think we've been very successful to this point. Our state representatives and our city and county representatives have all been very helpful in this, and I couldn't say enough about the community effort. And so Right now, the site testing and evaluation and environmental studies, we hope to begin starting those after the first of the year. We're not quite sure how much that will cost us. At this point, we're looking, we have received a grant from the Healthy Community Initiative, HCI.
Yeah, HCI.
They've given us a grant to apply toward that. We have raised some funds that we can contribute to it too, and we may need some more. We just don't know, and Larry McDarris and Joe and I will be meeting with the county, the city, and the state people over the next few months to begin this process with the objective of hopefully having the ground broken on this facility in either late 2013 or 2014.
Oh,
Wow.
That's the earliest it can happen based on the VA priority list.
Right.
But again, as I said, we're as close as we've ever been to having this happen.
Yes, you've come a long way since 2006.
Yes.
You said this home is a skilled facility.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand what a skilled facility is. I worked in skilled care for
Yeah.
many years, but a lot of people don't understand.
Well,
what that
essentially,
is.
it's a nursing home.
Right.
Such as a life care or anything else. They provide the skilled care for people who cannot perform certain daily life functions.
Right.
And it's exclusively for veterans or their spouses. And anyone who has been in the military and got an honorable discharge and is considered a veteran is eligible to be placed in one of those. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an invalid person. It can be somebody who may have broken a leg and needs rehab.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think a lot of people understand really the need for that kind of community.
Yes, it's exclusively devoted to veterans.
Right.
And it provides a few more services than the normal skilled facility. And the staffing ratios are higher than in the normal nursing homes. Yes,
Yeah.
almost 2 to 1.
Well, the site that's been donated is a beautiful site. It's 27
Well,
acres?
It's 27 to 30 acres. I don't know the exact amount. It's off of Westland Drive.
Yeah, around close to APD 40, not
Yeah.
far from the intersection with South Lee Highway, I think, in that area.
Well, it's really right across the road from West Cleveland Baptist Church.
Okay.
On the left there. There's a sign there.
Yeah, so that gives you an idea of where it
We're
is.
really encouraged.
Promise.
Our council, we are establishing a website. Hopefully it will be up
Good.
next week.
Yeah.
www.setvh.org.
Okay.
That will explain what these facilities are, what we're about, has a video
Good.
with some of our local people talking about it, and how people can get involved, either by financial donations, donating their time, or keeping our elected officials aware of our interest in having this facility in this area.
Well, you've generated a lot of support, Sid, in this region, as evidenced by the $3 million anonymous donation, the land donated. I think this whole community is behind you 100%, from what I can see.
Who actually got it started was a $3 million donation. They came to the Veterans Service Office in 2006. They'd heard about one of these facilities and said, we'd like to get one here. Start with this.
Wow.
And so that's what has got us started.
That is amazing. And there is a great need for it. We've got about a minute left, but as I want to mention again that we've got in the county 7,900 veterans. And within, as Joe said, within a 40-mile radius, you've got about 50,000 veterans. So there is a need for a skilled care home for our veterans. And I think the test of a character of any nation is how well it takes care of its veterans. And I'm glad to see Bradley County stepping up. And
We appreciate being here, and we hope to come back and keep you updated.
Oh, we want you to, Sid. We want you to. We are out of time, have to go. It's Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. But we just wanted to spend some time this morning with Sid and Joe and Ron and honor our veterans today. And hope you'll do the same and go out today at 11 o'clock at the Courthouse Square and spend some time. It won't take long. Just spend some time and let our veterans know that you really appreciate their service to our country. Sid, it's always good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming by today, and we'll see you soon. You have a great weekend, and just get out and enjoy the sunshine. 7:30, 33 degrees. We'll see you on Monday.